Hello, just hit 3K Delve on the Flamewood Hierophant. Thought I would make an update video, so we'll start here with an all. It doesn't have any damage mods, I think, so this is going to be like a really easy all, but should still show the general gameplay and the damage levels. Um, all is kind of like a bad matchup for Flamewood Totem because his like regular attack is not very good at proccing totems, and there's like actually a pretty non-zero chance that I just get randomly one shot in this, so hopefully that doesn't happen. But I have like managed to formulate some strategies to help me deal with all here. So what you want to do is you want to kind of summon totems like in his path, and make him dash across them to proc the Avenging Flames. And then once that happens, and he gets low enough, oop, probably didn't want to proc that. Whatever, it's fine. So here, if he does the dash right here, if you want to summon some totems and then make him do dash and then keep doing that. So obviously that wasn't super successful. And when he's doing the AoE like spears, yeah. So when he's doing this attack, that's from I actually stood way too far away from him. I made him dash. I really needed to be standing closer, but regardless, this is like a two-phase like intermissions. That's still not pretty bad. Be a bit of a slog here. Just get rid of through this. Defensively speaking, I'm about the same tankiness as I was for the 2K Delve video, maybe a little bit less, but I've gained a lot of damage, which is why I think these alls are still completable. I think once I reach a depth where I'm having to do this fight multiple phases, then maybe it starts to get sketchy, but for now it's still like pretty comfortable. You know, haven't gone this deep before, so haven't really experienced this kind of content. Okay, so near the end, all gets pretty trigger happy with his attacks, but he will still dash from time to time. Okay, so here I should do it. All right, and there we go. I should probably continue, just do a couple more nodes just to show like the general gameplay. Ooh, nice crown there, not bad. Just to show some general gameplay. I do have a swap here with a Quicksilver or just a Silver Flask to run the nodes a bit faster. Super optional obviously, but it helps. Yeah, just getting to move to the nodes like pretty quickly. And here I can put so I'm opening like the market menu here with like this hotkey that you can set. I have it set to 8, so it's like close to where I open my items, but you can set it to whatever, and then this like pauses the game to let you do these kind of swaps. I also have a Immortal Call swap. This is kind of weird. Like I have an Immortal Call here, Heart of the Flame, double guard skill setup. It's like kind of unnecessary. I only pull that out for when the nodes are like really difficult, like when there's like penetration or I think like Fizz added as chaos sometimes is also like kind of sketchy, or maybe like endurance charge theft. Yeah, gameplay is just you just stand still, just spam totems. During the much harder nodes like Beyond or like the Time Lost essences get pretty difficult. You might have to like hide, or maybe you need to sorry, just need to do some swap, or maybe you need to like summon totems to like get them to like tank for you, but those nodes are rare, so it doesn't happen too much. So I was kind of getting chunked there, but yeah, tankiness is starting to get a little sketchy. I am definitely dying a lot more than I was at 2K. It's still like relatively comfortable. Like I'm still able to complete nodes. I don't know how long that's gonna last. I'm hoping this build is 6K viable. Now that I'm at 3K and I've like had more time to do a lot more delving and like experiment with random things to see what could work, what doesn't, I'm starting to become more comfortable or more confident that maybe this is 6K viable. But you know, it's gonna take a lot of grinding to get there. I leveled to 100 since the last video, and I like some of which I guess we'll talk about later. Now it's just gonna be okay. So here we have the Goggle Terror. So this one is like not the super like easy one, because because he does like that little intermission thing at half HP, just like kind of annoying. Okay, and it's like refusing to move. Okay. A million years later. Okay. Okay, so that's just like a little bit of delving. All right. I guess just to get like all the showcasey stuff out of the way, we can start here with an Uber Exarch. Because the damage last time was pretty close. Like once Exarch started doing his like big attack, the fight ended pretty quickly. Like let's see this time if it's any better. All right, so he's probably dead now. Right, so that's like, you know, probably pretty good. I don't know. I don't really remember how fast the last one was. And I guess I might as well open up a T17. This doesn't really have anything on it. It has, does have crit and pen. I don't know. I'm probably gonna die. I don't have any crit immunity. Like my my crit immune balance of terror is like not in my passive tree, so there's a good chance to just get deleted here. But just gonna run through the map. And like, you really shouldn't be clearing maps like on a Flamewood build. But I'm just gonna run through just to demonstrate. This is like, you know, if you're able to do 3k delve, like T17 should be pretty easy. But this is like map effect modded penetration and crit. So there's a good chance I get just like dropped. Like, yeah, don't map with Flamewood. Like, this clear speed is like absolutely atrocious. Trying to just rush to the boss probably and just call it there. Okay, oh, that's not the portal, that's the Zaro. Okay, alright. Okay, finally. The portal down. The classic. Oh, dodge that. Okay. Actually didn't even see her take damage from the first. I think it was like a couple of hits from the totems. Okay, well, alright, that one's gone. Okay. And this should just kill. Okay, so that's kind of like a one shot. Alright. Okay, so that's all the showcase stuff out of the way. I guess here we can talk about what changed with last build. I did prepare some notes, so hopefully this will go a bit smoother. So compared to the 2k delve video, I've dropped the Darkseer. I am now using a Nebulos. With the implicit spells have double damage and a second spell damage roll. The double damage is doing a lot here for the more damage. The second spell damage roll is nice, but you can also get fire damage, generic damage, not necessary. If you can get 3 damage rolls, that's kind of GG. But I just shelled out for the dexterity one here. I don't actually need the dexterity. It's just like, I just wanted it just in case I wanted to move some gear around. Like if I wanted to double corrupt my ashes and I lose this 19 attributes roll, then that dexterity could come in really helpful. But just like I just haven't gone there yet. The Nebulous is a ton of damage because we're using the melding of the flesh here. If I can find it, I don't remember where I put it. Oh, the tree shoved around. So here, yeah, because we're using melding the flesh, we have 90 all res. This is the scepter is just 450% increased damage plus another 60% increased damage from the implicit, and the 20% double damage is just like absolutely crazy amounts of like extra damage compared to the Darkseer. And I have also given in to the Nature's Patience here, the Grasping Vine node that like delvers take. You get, because you're standing still in delve, you get 10 grasping vines. That's 20% chance to deal double damage and 10% less damage taken. So that's really good. Okay, and other than that, I guess the difference, well, you're dropping the Darkseer, so we lost 200 flat life, and the Malediction, which is the 10% DR. And I've also dropped this block wheel here, as well as the masteries that I was previously taking both masteries to give max block chance, but I've kind of half-assing that now. I've just felt like I wanted more damage, so I'm just taking the As the Mountain Cluster down here with the block mastery to make up for the spell block that I lost from the other wheel. So right now I'm at 68 attack block, and if I cast a spell, I'm at 64 spell block. So that's just 1% under cap, and it's like lucky block. So like effectively, it's like in the high 80s. But yeah, so damage wise, I rerouted the tree. I've purchased this Pain Attunement Skin of the Lords, which allowed me to drop like going all the way up here. But this is not like super necessary. Before this, I had an Elemental Overload Skin of the Lords. Just not gonna find that, which like allowed me. I just had this entire part of the tree dropped, and I was pathing to Pain Attunement. This wheel is actually really nice. The 3% life added ZS is like, and this like whole like wheel is like pretty efficient. So it's the Pain Attunement skin is like not that necessary. I was kind of taking these jewel sockets, that one up there and this one down here, in order to like drop this part. And but yeah, and for damage, after upgrading to Nebula, this is a ton of damage, but I also have the Light of Meaning here for increased fire damage, which I'm grabbing with this Unnatural Instinct. The Unnatural Instinct here is really nice because these block nodes are, this is just 9% attack block, which is really nice. I get the movement speed, I get the projectile damage, the fire res, you know, and these nodes that it's allocating, which is giving me like the fire damage from the Light of Meaning, just like really efficient. It's like a very classic Light of Meaning abuse combo. And dropping the node here, dropping the fire mastery up there, but I can still path down here for like this fire wheel. For this fire mastery, the 100% increased damage against ignited enemies, which we do ignite because we have 10% ignite chance with Holy Dominion. Yeah, so if we want to look at the differences in the very first, this is the 2k delve POV. Okay, so calculating damage with Flamewood is like very, very weird on POV. I don't like, people in Flamewood POVs love to put like thousands percent more damage in their configs in order to like pump up the numbers, but like in reality the damage that you deal is heavily dependent on whether you're being attacked or not. So most of the time people just put numbers that's like, I have all totems, they're all getting attacked all the time, and like all the projectiles hitting, which is not true. I was made aware that apparently once you go above like 4 or 5 projectiles, it's very, very likely for additional projectiles from Flamewood to miss. So like things get really complicated. So I don't actually do like any custom configs like in this POB. I actually just have the rune graph of the warp duration stuff, and I just don't have anything else. I just let POB tell me what my average hit is, and I kind of go based on those vibes. But yeah, so this is the 2k down POB. Average hit here is about 60 mil. I do have some padding here, like I have covered on Ash, but I do have the flame color graph, so this is pretty easy to hit. And yeah, I mean, this seems okay. Like 13 totems is because of the 5 rejuve and the 8 from the quality, and like, I don't know. Yeah, I think none of this is like super crazy. The max hit is a little bit padded because of like Frost Shield, but I think the Immortal Call is disabled in this POB. Yeah, the Immortal Call is checked off. So with Immortal Call, the max hit is like pretty good. Yeah, it's pretty decent. And so, you know, 16 mil roughly, and in my current POB, my damage has gone up to about 35 mil. So that's about double damage, because all the damage that like from the nebulas and all the increase, like I was just missing a lot of increased damage from before. Like you know, I'm not that great of a PoE player. This is kind of my first time playing content to this like extreme level. So yeah, basically like TLDR like dropped most of the dropped some tankiness, mostly like trading block points and losing Darkseer for just like a lot more damage. And the way that I'm getting like my tankiness is I'm just using a lot of conditional defensive mechanisms. So here we have survive with defense on Tuesdays, and the reason for this is because this build that I'm playing here, Flamewood Totems, I'm not a stacker build. I don't stack anything. The only thing that like I could be stacking is like auras and aura effects, because you know, like I'm using Purity of Fire to like pump up my resistances, which also pumps my totems, and like the resist helps me with Eminence Embrace. But this is a cap, right? This is a 200% over cap fire res. I'm actually like way over cap. Like this number, you only need 290 here, but I have 317, so I should actually get quite a bit more damage if I drop some of these fire res tattoos for totem life. I just haven't had the chance to do that because like, I don't know, lazy, and also these tattoos are kind of expensive. So if I swap off of these, I need to be like with this setup for like just a little bit longer before I'm like absolutely certain that I don't need these fire rest tattoos anymore. Yeah, so instead of using like just the brutal like efficiency of like stacking strength or stacking life or whatever, like I'm a very modest like 5k life build with petrified blood and like a little bit of energy shield. The way that I'm getting defenses is I'm just using like stuff that is like pretty good, doesn't cost me that much to get, and then I just move on. I just grab another thing that's like pretty good, helps me a lot, and just move on, right? So we have good regen because of the like just the setup in general. We have the pious path, forbidden flame and flesh. So this modifier from the inquisitor gives it so that while we're standing on consecrated ground, we life regen applies to both life and yes. So it's if you get good life regen, that gets double to your yes regen. So it's like we have double regen. Right now, in the sheets regen is like 1700. If I go up to my max totem count, which is 16, this regen number goes up to pretty high, 3k before without the graft buff. And if I'm also affected by the rejuvenation totem aura, this number goes up even higher still. So 3.8k is pretty good, right? And that's recovering both my life and yes. That's pretty good regen. Um, so this like kind of covers the recovery part of it, right? Well, like if you're a regular hit build, like maybe you're a Molten Strike of the Zenith character, you have like leech or life gain hit or whatever. I'm using regen. I have 1 to 2 guard skills here for defense. So in the last video, I was using the automation setup in my Skin of the Lords, and I was automating Mortal Call here. I've moved that setup to my boots with some white sockets so that I can like swap back and forth between Phase Run and Mortal Call. Um, the 30% quality, even though it looks like it adds a ton of cooldown recovery rate, it like in practice it's like not that much. It's like it's from like 77 uptime to like I don't know like 74 or something. So it's not as big as I thought. So it's actually better for me to move my Searing Bond totem to the chest so that I can get 3 more totems from Searing Bond right here. Yeah, so right, so like I had 5 totems before, 5 plus 8 before, now it's 5 plus 11, so I have 16 totems, just like, 3% additional regen, all that good stuff. I'm also putting my Purity of Elements here in the chest because now it gets supported by Enhance, which normally has a cost reservation multiplier, but because we're also using Eternal Blessing, the Purity of Elements doesn't cost like any life anyway, so this is just kind of free. And then like the quality helps, right? With the resistance is 20 quality is 5% res, so we see that like with all the quality it does go up to 26 res, which is like it's not like crazy. It would be much better if this res was on the Purity of Fire, because Purity of Fire 20 quality gives you 10% res, is like literally double as good as Purity of Elements, but like whatever. Like this is just how it works out. Yeah, so that's kind of like the major shifts. Like everything else is like roughly the same, still using the same ring, the same amulet, Svalin, blah blah blah, Foulborn, Formless Flame. um yeah, anything else? Right, so that 1 to 2 guard skills. So I switched up to using a Heart of Flame. I was originally trying to test like whether it would be good to like not use Immortal Call, um right? Because like this 4 link setup, I can only run like 1 of Phase Run or Immortal Call, because my other 3 links are Automation, more Duration, which are like I'm pretty sure these are like mandatory, and like Enhanced. So I don't know how mandatory this is. Like I haven't like POV the numbers heavily. I've just been kind of gem swapping like back and forth, like Phase Run in between nodes, and then like add a node. Like if it's just like an easy node, if it's like a one like level 1 Azurite node, I don't swap. But if it's like Rogue Exiles, or if it's like I don't know if it's like the Roa node is actually pretty hard for this build, so I do swap there, and I think it is okay. The guard skills kind of cover. Like it's hard to describe. Like Heart of Flame uptime is pretty bad. Like this graft is like pretty juiced up, right? It has cooldown recovery rate and has the max fire res, which I do need. The cooldown recovery rate doesn't make the buff like uptime like that good. Like if you watch right here with Woundgrave of the Warp, this is expiring slower, but after it disappears, like it takes quite a long time, right? Like, uh, okay, like that was like you feel how long that is, right? So the uptime is kind of mid, which but like it's with Immortal Call here, like Immortal Call cooldown doesn't cool down while Heart of Flame is active, but I think it's like I think this is fine, like because it helps me like this guard skill helps me while I'm moving between nodes, and then like the Heart of Flame also procs like when Immortal Calls on cooldown. So like I don't know, there's like I do feel like there's like some synergy here. I would have to experiment this more, but that's currently what I'm doing. So I've dropped the Flame Callers off graft, which means I'm no longer like reliably covering enemies in Ash, but this graft does have cover enemies in Ash on hit, which is like give me some of that back, even though it's like the uptime is not super high. I've just like chosen to stick with this for now. I'm still experimenting, but yeah. So A couple other things, I guess, because I'm no longer using the Dark Seer. I've lost 2 gem levels, which means my Purity of Fire is no longer level 23, which means it not only gives 4% max fire res instead of 5%, which means I had to elevate the fire resistance on my boots. So like in the last video, the boots was like just you just drop like low tier acres on it to get the 1 res and the life regen rate. But this one I did have to use the Orb of Conflict, which wasn't that expensive. Um, you don't have to raise it like you don't have to raise it beyond this tier to get the 2%. So that's where I got the 1%. Originally I wanted to make a better ring so that I can get more reservation. Like this reservation efficiency number is only 30. I wanted it to be like 32 or 34, and that's why I had all these jewels with like reservation efficiency on them, because I wanted to be able to uh, get the like not have to use the 90 cost multiplier to get a corruption with like +2 AoE or +2 aura, whatever, to buff the purity of fire back. But elevating the boots just like solves that, so I just not want to do that. And also like keeping the 90% multiplier meant I could get a high level vitality. Originally I had it at level 1, but this time I can, like, because of the extra reservation I got, getting it to level 20, it's like a pretty sizable amount of extra regen. Okay, and then obviously, so things that haven't changed. I have this frost shield here, yeah. So frost shield is really reliable. It's a lot of max hit from like ranged attacks. So for the node that has like the ghosts that do like the ethereal knives, like those ghosts are really scary because my fizz mitigation is really bad. Um, the fact that I get an automated frost shield from the Svalin is really really nice, and the energy drain I don't even notice because of Pious Path. Like the region is really good. So that's one another layer of, like, these are all just like kind of like cheap, like low cost ways to get tankiness, right? And then the next one here is that we have Vol Rejuve Totem. So I did end up making this 2120 Vol Rejuve Totem. This took me quite a few double crops. These are like pretty rare. I think they're like 1 in 60 or something. So I kind of grinded for this while I was also double corrupting Black Zenith. Like I don't have a better pair than this at the moment, but if I do eventually hit that double, I think it's like 1 in 270 or something, 280 temples, which is like going to be really expensive, but it's going to be worth it. um yeah, so the Vol Rejuve Totem here that I do use, if I can find it, yeah, it has the modifier 40% damage from hits against targets affected by the aura taken from totem before the target. So unfortunately, I believe this modifier applies to the totem. So like, if I summon a bunch of totems here and then I drop a Vol Rejuve Totem, the Vol Rejuve Totem is absorbing damage taken from these searing bones as well, which means the Vol Rejuve Totem actually has really bad survivability if like all the totems are clustered together. So you do have to like kind of summon them far away and then drop your Rejuve Totem like kind of far away. It's a little clunky, but this is another form of like conditional tankiness, like once like every node, because the cooldown the soul gain prevention is incredibly long. You only really get one use of this, but when you drop this down, you probably live for like 5 seconds, right, or however long this totem lasts, which is like 11.2 seconds, and it does have like a stronger aura, etc. So this is a tool we can use. Body blocking with totems. So I haven't had to do that at all in the nodes that I demonstrated here, but some of the hard nodes like Beyond and the Roas, the charging like Bone Roas, like just put totems like in front of them and like you just don't get attacked. So that's kind of what's giving me confidence that maybe this build is 6k viable, is as long as you do enough damage to like complete the nodes on time, and you just employ like these like little tricks, right? You stand like in a little corner of a wall and you summon totems, like, and the enemies attack those, and you like kind of like chill behind, and hopefully like you have lucky blocks, so you avoid a lot of damage, and you have all these conditional defenses that when they're up, you're probably immortal. Like when immortal calls up, I am like very difficult to die. So hopefully this is enough. But yeah. Oh yeah, and also I guess here another defensive loss. I did drop this Enfeeble Balance of Terror in order. I just couldn't find another way to get another jewel socket because I really really need this like Nature's Patience Keystone for the double damage. I feel like it is like probably mandatory for deep delve, and like I do have access to 3-point jewels, but like I just don't like I just don't have room. Like if somebody could offer me like a better POV, that would be I would be grateful. So I'm currently not crit immune whatsoever, which like I think in delve, because there's no map mod effect crits, I think it's fine. Sometimes I just die to like a random, like if you know, like if all like swipes me with a sword and it bypasses the lucky block and then it crits me, it instantly kills me. That's fine. I'm okay with it at the moment. And yeah, I do swap this out. Like I think I swap out the Rain of Splinters for the Balance of Terror. Sometimes like if I think the node is gonna be really hard and it has crit, or it's like all with that node that's like the unique boss always crits. It's like a very rare node that spawns on all sometimes, but I did encounter one of those on the way down. So you know, if you see that, then yeah, I'm probably gonna swap this in. But yeah, so instead of using Feeble, which I do still have on my hotbar, just like so when I do the jewel swap, it's yeah. I have this free gem socket. I'm actually using Punishment as my curse, like because I do need to cast a spell to count my block chance. So I am spamming like Punishment a lot, like in the middle of the nodes, like once I have my totems. Punishment, I believe the damage mod is kind of whatever, because Deep Delve supposedly has a like built-in reduced effective curses. But what is nice here is the debilitate, right? Because the punishment says cursed enemies are debilitated when they hit. This by default lasts 2 seconds. With 20 quality you get a second, another second, so it's 3 seconds. But since we're sodding this with enhance and equality skin and ashes of the stars, this debilitate lasts 7 seconds, which must be pretty good, right? Debilitate is 10% DR. So this seems really good. And I've just been like that's what I'm using, and like yeah, that's my like curse that I spam. I think every other curse, like even though Enfeeble also has less damage taken because Deep Delve monsters have less curse effect, like this I think this just doesn't do anything. I could be wrong, like if somebody knows better please correct me. But yeah, so that's the defensive setup. I am dying more often, but I am not dying so often that I cannot progress. So I've made it to 3k, and as you saw, the nodes were still like pretty comfortable, so hopefully I'm 6k viable, fingers crossed. Okay, and then I guess here, just talking about like the damage changes here. Nebulous double damage is really good. Nature's Patience is really good. Double damage is literally just like if you have 40% chance to use double damage and you go from 0 to 40, that's just 40% more damage. That's crazy. Like on the top of this 450% increase plus 60% increase, that's 510 increased. Like that's just crazy. Like on my tree, I basically don't need to take any increased damage nodes. Like I have some efficient ones here with the Light of Meaning, but that's it, right? I have this Glorious Vanity here that's giving me this spell block node, which is what I'm using to spell block cap along with the Mastery. So that's how I'm making up for the loss of the Safeguard Wheel. And like these three notables that I'm getting are all like these two are damage nodes. This one's a life one. I don't know if there's a better Glorious Vanity. I haven't really looked, but this Glorious Vanity cost me like 20c. I should probably like buy like 10 of them and double crop just to like get some bonus stats. Yeah, so that's that. Okay, so this is actually kind of interesting. The lost gem levels from Darkseer. So right now my Vol Rejuve Totem is level 27. So originally when I had the Darkseer, the Vol Rejuve Totem was level 29, which means that if I get a double crop, like a +1/+2 or a +2/+2, it's actually inefficient because the Rejuve Totem level would go from 29 with the Darkseer to 31. And most spells in PoE, after you hit level 30, any additional level, like roughly speaking, like from level 20 to 30, each level is roughly like 10 to 15% more effectiveness, so to speak. So on Rejuve Totem, it's like every level is like 10 to 15% more life, which is basically like 15% more damage, roughly speaking. But once you hit level 30, from level 30 to 31, it goes down to like 5% like more life. So gem level scaling becomes like kind of diminishing at high gem levels. But since I've swapped to Nebulous, I've lost 2 gem levels on Rejuve Totem, which means that if you then double corrupt the Black Zenith and get the GG corruptions, and you get +3 or +4, they're all the same, right? Because I'm running in power, so +1 is a +2. It's actually like better, right? Like +2 AoE, +2 aura is the GG, but +1 all, and like either of those two like also works because I'm using the power. So it would bump the rejuvenation totem up to 29, which is like roughly like 20% more damage. And then, you know, if I scrape together the funds to buy an awakening power, right, that will put me at the, you know, the perfect like spot, right? 30% level 30. And overall, it should be like another 30% more damage if I can like hit the double corrupt, which is like, you know, it's fucking temples, right? It's like fucking annoying. So yeah, so that's kind of exciting, right? Level 27 Rejuve, we can get another +3 levels, like efficient levels. And basically my current strategy is to just like kill the nodes before they kill me. Some of the nodes that are getting really dangerous. The Roa nodes are definitely dangerous. The Beyond nodes, definitely very dangerous. Rogue Exile nodes are kind of dangerous. But like but all of those nodes I'm still kind of face tanking them. So I could be playing a lot more defensive. I could be, you know, like, I don't know. We'll see. I also could go for the Bottled Faith. Like drop this Bottled Faith for the Progenesis, which I just haven't done because like I'm using an Amethyst Flask. It feels kind of wasteful. If I really feel that I need to tank up, then I will like give in and pay the 100 div or whatever it is now for the Progenesis. But right now I'm still using the Bottled Faith for the damage and the 10% damage multiplier. Yeah. Okay, so that's it for the character updates. I have some like random theorycraft stuff going on here. So with my current setup is very unlikely to change. Like I'm pretty settled in. I'm comfortable. I don't feel like I need to like explore like some crazy alternate setup, but maybe like if I hit a brick wall, then I'll go for something new. So here I have some thoughts, right? Like if you go for Adorn and you stack, there's a suffix on regular jewels for 10% totem res. So with Adorned, if you get a perfect one, that's 20% totem res, or even just like a 90% Adorned, right? 19% totem res. That's 19% totem life per jewel. You can have 7% life on the prefix for like 14%, up to 14% increased life. And so maybe that's like, if you do that, maybe, you know, that's a life stacking angle with Wrathpith Globe, but then you're not a Dissolution of the Flesh build. It's kind of weird, right? If you go Dissolution, you don't get to use Pious Path because you lose Energy Shield. So that's kind of weird. And also like Deep Delve, the damage frequency is really, really high. So like Dissolution probably is really bad for Deep Delve, but like I have no idea. If you don't go Dissolution, then you have to deal with the downside of Wrathpith, that like summoning a totem like costs sacrifice 10% life, and like the totem placement speed is crazy, right? Like I actually have a Wrathpith here somewhere if I can find it. Yeah, I do have a Wrathpith here somewhere. Wow, I actually can't even wear it because I don't have enough ants. That's really funny. Okay, so I'm just gonna like, I'll just like allocate it in node, I guess. I still can't wear it. What the heck? Really? Oh wow, yeah. I just straight up don't have enough ants. That is really funny. Okay. All right. Well, can I allocate? I still cannot use it. We'll just keep this blueprint. All right, cool. I can now wear my Wrathpith. No, I still cannot. 158 intelligence. Great. This is peak content. It's peak content. I'm looking for an intelligence node so I can equip my Wrathpith Globe. There we go. Okay. There we go. Okay. Yeah, so we put the Wrathpith Globe on, and like you'll notice that this life sacrifice is still happening. The life regen is good enough to cover this, but like, yeah, if you do this, like, I don't like, you're right. Like you see how the life is kind of plummeting. This is scary. I have no idea if this is good, and like obviously if you use the Wrathpith, you would lose the Svalin, which is like a crazy amount of like damage mitigation. So who knows if this is good? Yeah, but like maybe that's a route to go instead of what I'm doing here. Maybe it's better. Another thing, this is kind of a meme. The new Delirious Bloodline, that didn't happen. 40% less damage taken from hits, but it turns off like all of your jewels that are not like cluster jewels. But there is a Megalomaniac node, Ancestral Preservation, that gives 20% totem res, which is 20% totem life. You can kind of go that route, and then you can take like 2 other random nodes. Doing this is probably really, really bad, but 40% less damage taken is also kind of insane. So like, who knows if this is good? You will lose. You will lose like all of this, which is like, I don't know, Watcher's Eye as well. Like, you do not, yeah, you just lose everything. You lose the Forbiddens, you lose Red Nightmare, you lose the you just lose everything, and it's like terrible. So who knows, right? That's kind of like crazy price for power. Probably more of a meme than anything else, but it is like if you want to spend like hours and hours in PoB, this is like a thing you can do. So yeah, cool. Yeah, I think that's everything here. Hopefully I didn't miss anything. Thank you for watching. Goodbye.